Hi guys, welcome to Learning, Growing and Becoming. My name is Nontuthuko Maseko, but you guys can call me Nontu, and I am very happy to be doing this live thing with you. Today's video is upon request of one of our followers who asked us to do a video on the requirements to become a professional social worker in South Africa. And one thing about me, honeys, if it's something I do have some kind of knowledge in, if it's a topic that I'm comfortable in, I will definitely deliver. So please comment with your video suggestions. Without wasting any time, let us get right into it. So how does one become a professional social worker in South Africa? I'm going to speak on my personal experience as a practicing social worker and the journey that I've gone through. I went to the University of Pretoria, so whatever information I'm going to be speaking on, I will be referencing from the procedures that take place in that university. And also please do note that I enrolled for my first year in the year 2017. Things may have changed, so it is important to do your own research. I have this diary over here so I don't forget the important points. I picked up on the University of Pretoria website the things you should consider doing if you are considering pursuing a career in social work. And the first thing is speak to social work students or trained social workers. I cannot stress this enough. I think it's very important because sometimes we think we have an idea of what a career field has to do with. Until you actually speak to the people who are practicing or who are studying it, they may give you a better or rather maybe different perspective on what actually goes on within that career. 2, they encourage you to volunteer. So find yourself in spaces where you have to work with people to figure if you are truly a people's person, if you would make an almost great fit to the field. And what I loved about our curriculum is that during our first year, before the final selection, we were given a chance to volunteer. And I remember for a fact that most people decided after the shadowing and the volunteering practical assignments that social work wasn't really their thing. But you don't have to enroll for your first year to decide if it's for you or not. If you can, while you're still deciding right now, get into voluntary experiences and see if it's truly your thing. Read articles, books, whatever from people who are in the field, and also follow the people who are in that field. I know there's not many of us. Well, there is many of us, but not a lot of people have social media presence. So if you do find that one person who's a social worker, follow them, see how they do things. If you can, ask them to mentor you, or send them a DM and ask them the questions that you may have regarding the career field. I think that would be truly beneficial to you. I normally get people asking me where social workers can be hired, and my response is wherever you find people, there's a room for a social worker to practice. And it's simply that. At NGOs, private companies, public organizations, anywhere, hospitals, schools, rehabilitation centers, old age homes. It's not limited to that. So do your research, figure out the field or specialization you would most probably want to go into, and I think that will get you excited. First thing first, for you to become a professional social worker in South Africa, you have to pass your matric. Pass your matric with a 60% in English, at least 60% in English, and at least 60% in 4 other subjects in your matric year. Another thing is your matric should have a bachelor degree endorsement, meaning that you should pass with a B. If you pass with a diploma or a higher certificate, there are probably other parts that you may follow, like maybe starting with your social auxiliary certificate before you can qualify for your Bachelor of Social Work. But that is a video for another day. You should have at least an APS score of 30, meaning that if you combine all your subjects, some universities exclude the subject LO, the points calculated and put together should make up a number 30. I remember when I was applying in my matric year, I found that the social work selection program was already closed. And I will not lie, I was very early with my applications. And I was pretty shocked that I couldn't find the option to add social work as one of my preferred paths of study. I made the decision to call the department, and they let me know that they close very quickly. So they only have a limited number that they take in, and if they've reached that number, they stop accepting any more applications. So please, if you really do want to pursue social work as a career, if you want to study social work, apply on time. As soon as the applications open, go for it. So what I ended up doing is I applied for a BA General. And then when a friend of mine, I had just completely gotten over the idea of studying social work when a friend of mine told me that she was when we were choosing modules, she was picking social work modules to be considered to study social work. And I was like, oh, okay, you can do that. So that's what I did. I went for a BA General and I took up social work modules. For you to be considered for study in social work, you should have the social work practical module. So I took up the social work practical module, the theory modules. I took up all the modules that the ones who were doing the Bachelor of Social Work would have taken. You may be wondering how that would help me anyway, because I was doing the BA General stream. Well, it assisted me because within the Bachelor of Social Work department, final selection happens in your second year. So first year, you can take up whatever modules that you have to fill up your credits. But we have what they call departmental selection, which happens at the end of your first year. What it basically means is that not everyone gets to continue with the Bachelor of Social Work degree from second year. There's a criteria for the people to get through and be able to study the Bachelor of Social Work from second year going forward up to their fourth year. The departmental selection is based on academic achievement. If I'm not mistaken, the minimum entry was either a 60 or a 65. Do correct me if I'm wrong. So for your final average for the year, average for all your modules, first and second semester, it had to make up a 60 or 65. Another thing is we had to take psychometric tests. I remember when the psychometric test is almost similar to like a personality test. So you answer a series of questions which determine whether you are a perfect fit to be working with people, a perfect fit for the Bachelor of Social Work career. Another process that we had to go through in our first year to be selected to continue with the Bachelor of Social Work degree in our second year, going to our all the way through to our fourth year, is that we had to go through interviews. Yes, you heard me right. Interviews to be able to continue with studying the degree. Most of the questions during the interview were based on the theory and the practice that we had learned during the year. Don't think that you can simply just wing the interview. You do prepare for it because it's based on theory and practice. I was fortunate enough, I went through all those things, so I was eligible to continue studying social work from second year. Going forward, we got told that they are going to choose 65 students. 65 in a class of about 100 and something people. We were all scared, we were terrified, we were stressed. We didn't know if we would make the cut or not. It really put pressure on us, but I will say nothing beats preparation and hard work. But also remember, a lot of people went to their first year and got to experience social work or truly discover what social work is about and decided that they didn't want to continue with the module, even though they would have been admitted had they decided that they want to go through the selection process. So some people chose not to go through the selection process. And then, at the end, I think they chose about 54 of us. Yeah, I remember in class in our final years, from second year, we were like 50 something. Please do not feel terrified of the process. Just prepare well. It is absolutely doable. And the modules, the practice modules, everything is doable if you just put in the work and test yourself. If you truly feel like this is the path you're supposed to be going on, keep on going. I do know some people who are not selected to go through to continue with studying from our first year group. You can still try again in the following year. So it's not the end of the world if you feel like you are meant for it, because guys, let's be honest, you have a lot of things that may distract you during that department selection process, you know, during that time. Say you stress out about something and your marks drop, or whatever reason. If you truly believe in your heart that you are meant to be doing social work, you can try again the following year. During the second year, once all of us have been admitted to study further with our social work, we had a formal ceremony to be registered with the South African Council for Social Professional Services, the board that regulates social services provision within the country, which means that if you are a student or you are a professional social worker, you cannot practice without being registered with the council. There are a few things that are required for you to be registered with the council, such as a police clearance, but that is something that you can only worry about when you get to your second year, and most lecturers or institutions do provide the correct information regarding the process and how you get signed up. So then you get a certificate that allows you to practice as a student social worker, which means that you should have a supervisor. Whatever you do with your clients or with groups or wherever you are placed should be done within supervision. You cannot, it's against the law, you cannot continue with social work if you are not registered with the council. We have come to the end of our video. I did want to keep it short, brief, and straight to the point. I hope that you guys have learned a thing or two. And please do not rely only on the information that I've just given you here. This is just to add on to your knowledge that you may possibly have. Please do your own research, find out which universities offer social work across the country. There's also some private colleges that do offer studying social work. Find out what their requirements are, and all the best in applying and becoming a fellow social worker.